who's here to talk to us about farmers here in East Texas. They've been struggling as of late due to a number of factors. A late March freeze delayed crops, and now drought conditions are also affecting production. And now we understand that some of those farmers might be eligible for financial assistance in the near future here in East Texas. So, April, tell us about that.
Yeah, so just like you mentioned, there was an early frost in March, which delayed a lot of crops, especially figs. And so right now they should be producing, but just that delay didn't happen for most farmers. And so because of that, some of the things that they're trying to crop, they're trying to use more water, but since it's been a very dry summer, they've been irrigating constantly, and so that also it helps them, but it's not enough. For example, I was out at the farmers market just talking to some local farmers here in our area, and I spoke with Victor. He is from Lindale. He has his own farm. It's called sorry, Zillmer Farms, excuse me. It's called Zillmer Farms, and he was just telling me about how, he's just been irrigating a lot, and just within a day, he has to constantly keep track of it because as soon as he stops it, the soil, it just completely dries out. And so I thought that was super, super interesting how it affects them and how it also affects his crops. And so, like you mentioned earlier, Leo, there is USDA did implement this farmers loan that farmers can start applying just to like help them with any sort of supplies, any sort of help that they need to fight this drought. I'm sure there's more farmers out there like Victor that are struggling right now with that.
Well, this year has been kind of a bit of a double whammy because we had a late frost in March, and that took a lot of things like the figs, which normally producing this time of year, and sent them back a month and a half, so they're being hurt more by the drought than they normally would be. And in many cases, the ground is so dry that you run your irrigation lines across it, and the next day the ground's dry again. So we're using a lot of water out of the wells to keep what we have alive. And right now we're getting lots of purple hull peas and okra because they love the heat. But and we're also planting for the fall. Right now we're planting watermelons and cantaloupes and peas, and we're planting beans very soon and potatoes because you time them from now until the end of the fall when the frost comes. The challenge it makes it is so hot and so dry that people my age can't get out there and work very long in this stuff. And so we have to take it easy and do what we can. And that's even for the youngest people because this heat is very sneaky and you can really run out of water in a hurry. So the plants themselves, I'm irrigating my orchards, I'm irrigating blackberries, I'm irrigating the row crops, and it's a full-time job because without that they would all die. Normally we have irrigation just to supplement the rain, but this year with so little rain and it's so hot, basically you're on a full-time irrigation, and which is not as good for plants as rain. They prefer rain, but they will do fine with irrigation.
And I guess with irrigation, I mean, letting that water, it also runs a lot of water.
Yes, it does. You have to be very careful because if you simply put the water on and it doesn't have enough to carry through the soil, what will happen is as it dries back out, it'll bring the salt back up. You can actually have salt accumulation on top of the ground if you don't water enough. You have to water enough so the water goes down and through. A lot of people water their lawns like 15 minutes. All that's doing is concentrating the salt. And it goes down, it comes back up, brings the salt back up with it, and you actually have salt crust on top of your ground.
And how long have you been doing this?
I retired in 2011, and so I've been doing this ever since.
Would you say that this is kind of brutal summer? But would you say this is kind of brutal summer from your experience in farming?
Not as bad as 2011. 2011 was very brutal. It was the hottest summer in 500 years. This is really typical for Texas. This is around the 8th of August, normally the hottest day of the year. And so it's hotter than normal and drier than normal, but it's within the normal range of you're in Texas. So it's Texas summer.
Anything else I didn't ask you think would be important for other people to know?
Let's see. I think of something. Really, right now is the hardest time of year to produce something because it's August and it's dry. And the tomatoes won't produce right now because it's too hot for them. But all those things are being replanted now, and they will become available in October and early November before the next frost. And so you'll have your fall gardens, and there's a lot of things that can come in the fall. And people tend to forget that part of it. They have potatoes I'm selling right now. In 2 weeks, potatoes I won't have sold. I will cut them up and plant them. So it's kind of a process where you try not to ever throw anything away. All this canning I do here is because I got tired of throwing away good fruit. Years ago, I said, I'm going to can this stuff rather than throw it away.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.